follow directions.
I was here. You did that.
I said the first chair.
Oh, first chair.
They got the microphone.
You know what?
I got the microphone.
No, it's fine. Because
I got your back.
you guys know who you are, right? Do you? It's been a long day.
I'm sorry.
First chair.
You know, it's
You get a
fine.
50-50
Did you
chance.
take two?
I would have gone all the way down.
From the top, do it again.
All right, we're going to start with you.
Hi guys, I'm always interested in art saying something about the time we live in. In what way do you think The Walking Dead reflects our time then, when it first started, and versus perhaps now?
Wow, you're going to start off with that question. Who wants this?
Microphone.
Who wants it?
I mean, I think that, both the Republicans and Democrats, nobody's addressed the zombie problem in this country. So I think it's up to us to sort of pick up where those people are leaving off.
No ideas?
I mean, I think that the show obviously deals with people's fears. It's one of the reasons I think it connected with an audience, because people are afraid of financial collapse. They're afraid of anything, natural disasters. And it's a show that allows people to connect with those fears, identify with the characters in it, and see if the person they most identify with has the answers or not. I think we're all looking for answers, and I don't know that the show provides them, but it's certainly a provocative look at the choices, the ethical choices that people are making, and the consequences from those choices.
Thanks, great answer.
Thanks. Good job, yeah. That's awesome.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, man.
Hey, I have one question for Jeffrey and one for Austin and Norman. Jeffrey, it's the 1 year anniversary of the death of Lucille. How do you feel about that?
Death of Lucille.
In the comic.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, don't tell me that.
Sorry.
Comic, yeah. I mean, I hope we don't do it. I hope the show varies enough that we don't have the death of Lucille in the show. I'm very sad for Negan in the comics. Poor fella.
How does Lucille die?
Negan hits Beta with his bat a few times during the Whisper War.
Yeah.
I was going to say, brother, shame on you guys. Read the comic.
No, we do. We do. They just threw me off. We do read the comic. But, that I was like, I thought he meant the 1 year anniversary of like Glenn's death, and I was going, I feel real bad about it. I thought he was going to go there.
And also, Austin and Norman, what can we expect from you two in season 8?
Wow, you would go for it.
You got it.
Talk in your mic.
Yeah. Well, in season 7, Daryl comes in and he kind of gets an understanding of a little bit of what I'm going through. But it's still very much we're kind of sussing each other out the whole time. I think that'll probably continue for a while.
Yeah, it's a cat and mouse game between us for sure. Trying to, because you have sympathy for each other's characters because you do things in this world that you wouldn't normally do, and so you understand it if you've been in it for a minute. But you go back and forth. It's like, can you trust him? Can you not trust him? Are you on our side? Are you not on our side? It's like a whole thing. So it's like every relationship.
Will there be Carol's cookies also?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I can't
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm just wondering what sort of impact it has on the cast and the crew to reach such a milestone that 100 episodes is, and how did you guys celebrate?
We kept working.
Right through it.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge for us because we never thought that it would be this big and go to 100. It's we're a really tight family there, and thanks to you guys and thanks to everybody else, we're still rolling. So it's a thank you to everyone. It's a win-win. Everyone.
It's a big thing for any show this day and age to get a full year order, much less do 100 episodes. I mean, I'm a new guy, but you can't be more proud. And to have the passion and the love every single day you show up to work that you did 8 years ago is a pretty cool thing. So I think kudos to the cast and the entire crew. Everybody's been there for the full run, so it's a pretty cool thing. Yay, 100.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, your old high school albums when you see all the bad haircuts you've had. I get a lot of that. When are you gonna cut your hair? I don't know. You know, it's kind of
no barbers in the apocalypse.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Except for Negan. Negan's high and tight.
We have a barber on Fear.
Oh
We
yeah.
have a barber on Fear, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's go over there.
Hi, I have one question for Melissa and Norman and then one for Jeffrey. Carol and Daryl obviously have a very special bond on the show. What do you think it is about both their characters that like draw each other to one another so much?
Oh God. I think that there is from the very beginning probably they shared a certain suppression.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they felt in one another, and then throughout the apocalypse together with this family, they have allowed each other the room to express themselves and to grow, and a self-respect, you know, and a mutual respect for self-expression.
Okay. And now, Jeffrey, obviously, it couldn't have been too easy to take on Negan, a character who isn't so beloved by everybody else. How did you deal with that, like, for yourself, like, all that backlash for taking on the role of the enemy?
I'd never, you mean from fans, or?
Yeah, or like the
Or
social
my
media
family.
world. Everyone.
The fans have been remarkably generous to myself and Negan, I think. I think that they've created this character in the comics that people love. I mean, you love to hate, and most people are kind of taken aback by, I think, Negan's charm, and there is some, I think, wisdom to him that this world needs, and he does fit in. His introduction, as brutal as it is, and what's to come this year, I think you'll find out more and more about Negan and a little bit of who he is. But the fans have been remarkably generous to me. I am amazed. I mean, I still get the finger flipped to me all the time, and and the occasional "we hate you, but we love to hate you." And it's been mostly good though.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I saw a father and son Negan on the floor yesterday.
Yeah.
And so I think you're bringing people together.
Maybe I'm having to bring people together.
Hi, this question is for Melissa and Norman. Both of your characters went through so much last season, emotionally, physically. You lost important members of the group. So what do you think your character's mental state is going to be going into this next season?
Jeez, revenge, pretty much. We always have a plan. We have one of those Rick Grimes plans, and sometimes they're good plans, sometimes they're not good plans. But I think there's some varying, a little bit of going rogue here and there, possibly. But it's a one-track mind for Daryl.
Oh, just fighting, revenge, fighting.
Cookies.
It's all about making cookies. Gotta feed the dreams.
Thank you.
Hey guys, this is for Jeffrey and Melissa. What was it like working on the Walking Dead Robot Chicken special?
Ah.
Are you affiliated?
No, I've seen it though, and
You've seen the episode?
I saw the episode. I got an early copy.
Oh, what's he do?
Yeah, I know.
That was kooky and fun.
Yeah, no,
Not
it was,
cookie.
yeah. What was it like?
I had a great time. I mean, Negan was kind of out there anyway, so it was great fun for me. I felt like I was in my element for a few hours there. So I can't wait to see it. Isn't that on this weekend?
Yeah.
Is it?
I think so. Tomorrow. Yeah.
There you go. Tomorrow night at like midnight or something. Robot Chicken, Walking Dead.
And it's fun to see.
And did you help?
Yeah.
Did you help write that too?
No.
No. Kirkman did though.
Kirkman did.
Yeah. I count you and Kirkman as like.
Thank Thank you.
But we all did it too, right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
I
Yeah.
did Dale's voice as well.
Maybe you did so good.
I did a guy in a shop that sold eye patches, but I heard it got cut out.
Did what?
There was a guy that ran a store in the apocalypse that sold eye patches.
Well,
Like the governor and Carl and.
that show has to tell you he's seen it.
Oh yeah, but I think someone told me that it got cut out. There was the eye patch guy in there?
No.
Damn. Because he was funny.
I actually have two questions. The first is a repeat from the previous group. I wanted to ask the cast, after 100 episodes, for each of your characters, is there one take back or one regret your character would be like, yeah, if I could just do that over? And his follow-up will be a question I have for Gail.
I do over. There's one in this season for me that's pretty gnarly. God, I don't know. I guess blowing up the bikers with the bazooka started the whole thing.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? But it was fun to do.
Right. It was that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good thing about the show is like there's so many regrets as you're moving through it. There's, you know, it makes all the characters seem really human. You know, just
I think attacking the saviors at the satellite.
Yeah, the sleeping guys? Yeah, that was a little rough.
That was probably, you know, that
was
probably
a
set
dark
things
night.
off.
Yeah, for sure.
But who knew?
Yeah, and I'm the bad
Seemed
guy.
like a good idea.
Very good point.
For me, it was the Carl cut his arm off to Rick scene. That was a rough scene. That was for me as a dad too. You can't help but think about that stuff every now and again. As much fun as I had that whole episode, that was a rough way to go. Even worse than the killing of Glenn and Abraham, I think, was trying to make Dad cut off his son's arm. That was. That being said, I don't really take it back. It was important for character development. I'm talking about Rick.
I kind of wish Carol had not been so snotty to Mrs. Niedermeyer about the pasta maker. She should take that back. She regretted that as soon as her head was wiped off. Sorry.
But she probably brought her some
smoke
cookies.
outside, you know?
I would have liked to have done like less popping out from behind trees and shooting people. Mainly this guy. I felt like maybe I could have like come up and whispered something to him, you know, where it was kind of. It was a little intense, and I got the finger a lot after that too. So,
Could dial it back a little bit, just a little bit.
yeah, just a tad bit.
I like that you're always popping up behind trees.
I'm always coming out of the
behind
woods.
the trees.
I love it.
And my quick follow-up question for Gail. Between the Walking Dead franchise and lore, which on a personal note I'm very excited about, what is it about horror that especially now just seems to be working, particularly on television?
Well, as I said earlier, I think that we live in fearful times, and I think this is a safe way to get some kind of catharsis from a world that seems to be throwing things at us that we don't know how to deal with. And horror, you can get that adrenaline jolt, and then you realize that, actually, I'm safe. You know, I'm at home, I'm at my computer, I'm watching my TV. And your own problems in life, you know, seem tame by comparison.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question's for Melissa. What advice would the Carol now give season 1 Carol?
Ooh. Ooh.
Questions are always so hard. Because, gosh, you know, I kind of think there's really nothing that the early Carol didn't know that Carol now knows. It's just she maybe not have had faith. You know, I think that's it. I don't know. Just hang in there.
Yeah, could you hear that? Could you repeat that?
You
What I
repeat
just said was
that.
so brilliant, I can't even just. What did I just say? Yeah, I don't think there's anything the early Carol
knew about herself that would not become who the Carol is now. I don't think she ever had the faith that she would manifest that in her life. And it took this apocalypse for that to happen. And I think this Carol would just say, hang in there, have faith in yourself, and trust. Yeah.
Thank you.
Be strong. Yeah. Thank you.
This was touched on slightly before, a few moments ago. So The Walking Dead's had so many different mediums it's crossed into, and the most recent one is the Walking Dead special from Robot Chicken. How was it not only parodying you got yourselves, but parodying such a serious and dramatic show? How did that feel for you guys to do?
I thought it was really fun. I love that you can make fun of yourself. I remember Kurt Cobain saying when he knew he made it is when Weird Al Yankovic covered Smells Like Teen Spirit. That was the coolest thing ever. I think it's fun. I like making fun of myself and everyone else.
I agree.
I think it was great. I don't know, the first time that we actually saw that was Mad Magazine did a cover on us, and I was sort of like, that was kind of the thing that I'd always, I always would read those growing up, and I was like, the fact that we were there on the cover, and they were pretty dead on. They got some behind the scenes stuff right. I mean, it was pretty funny. So it's good to see that stuff.
And Jeffrey?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Norman. I like being able to make fun of me and these guys. So, and I think they did a really good job of capturing it in the script that they sent us for the show. It was very witty and well done. Kind of covered a whole lot of ground in the 8 years that Walking Dead's been around. So it was cool. It catches on all the kind of key moments of the show, and I can't wait to see it.
Thanks, cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello. The Walking Dead fandom is as diverse as it is passionate, and I was just wondering what it feels like to put something out in the world that brings people together that might not otherwise think they have anything in common.
It feels so good. It feels so good, and I meet people that will go to some of the conventions, and people that met each other from around the world that never would have had they not had this show in common. And they're lifelong friends, I think.
Yeah, same. I remember I tweeted out a link to a person's hospital bill of a little kid, something bad happened to him, and because the family's trying to raise money for it. This is season 2, I think. And by the time I got home, they raised all the money, and I was like, whoa, I could do that. So from then on, I just try to do stuff like that all the time. But the weird part is when they argue. I mean, you could post a picture on Instagram of a kitten and someone will go, dogs are better, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So I like that side. The other side I don't totally get, but it's like Melissa said, I meet people all the time that, it's helped them get through stuff or they're lifelong friends, and, it's cool.
It's why we have the hashtag TWG family. It's not everyone who's up here, it's everyone who's a fan of the show, and it as you said, I mean, it brings a diverse group of people together. I mean, I think we heard that The Walking Dead is one of the few shows on television that's equally popular in red and blue states, and I think more than ever we need a dialogue between people and find some commonality, and really start to repair some of the tears in the fabric of our society. And if this show and the zombie apocalypse and all of these great people up here can help do that just by existing and continuing to make the show, I think that's fantastic.
And we'll have time for just these final 3 questions.
Questions for Melissa. We saw Carol struggle with a lot of moral conflict last season, but now that we're in this sort of all-out total war and there's a very clear enemy, where are we going to see Carol kind of return to the sort of soldiery woman that we've seen in previous seasons, or is she still going to struggle a little bit with having to do violence and kill people? And
there may be a bit of both. We'll see her fight, but she just has to.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean she wants to.
You don't have to fight.
I don't know. She can go over to the dark
side. You can come and make cookies from over here.
You never know. Are we going to see you guys actually share a screen ever?
I like cookies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this goes for kind of everyone here. Norman, Melissa, you guys have been here since the beginning of the show, so I'm curious what it feels like to be in your 100th episode and to finish season 8. And for Jeffrey and Austin, I mean, you guys are semi-new to this, so what's it like being with the original cast on this kind of monumental episode?
It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. We didn't think, it wasn't even a thought in the head to think that. Did you think we're going to have 100 episodes?
Never.
It never entered the mind. And I was just happy to get 3. But that was a milestone. And
Yeah, we have a room back in the studios that has all the fallen members of our cast from season 1, and it's like Gail was saying, it's all of us, that they're all with us for 100 episodes. Like, we know the people that helped us get here, and they're still there with us, and they're still sprinkled throughout the show. But all my best friends are in Sonoya, Georgia now. These are like my besties. It's kind of nuts. It's great, but
You used
super proud.
besties in a sentence.
What'd I say?
Besties.
I did not.
You
I
did.
Did I?
Yeah.
But I just, before you guys got here, I saw Sonequa walk by. And you have a spontaneous, you run up and hug each other. The same thing, John Bernthal and Scott Wilson, Stephen Young, it goes on and on and on. It's not like we feel that they've ever really left, we just don't get to see them every day. They're Walking Dead family forever.
And I'll go off that. So to join this family it feels like you're joining a family. From day one, from the minute Negan walked out of the RV, as horrible as that was, these guys have been nothing but awesome to me. And it was an honor to be a part of their 100th episode. It was really an honor, because that's a really hard thing to accomplish. And I'm not sure when you're so close to it you even realize it. It's an amazing accomplishment, and they should all be very, very proud.
Can I tag off that too?
Do tag.
Yeah, it's extremely inspiring too, and they got to 100 episodes for a reason. When you step on to the set, their work ethic is insane, and the bar is held so high. And it's like the most physical and emotionally demanding show or acting thing I've ever done, and they do it with ease. And I feel very blessed to be a part of it. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys. I know that AMC already gave that the green light for use the F word, so I want to know if you can talk about that and how pleased are you that Negan finally, finally,
fucking fuck. It's a year fucking late. That was all I got to add to that. I'm real excited. I think we should have had that rule when Negan came out of the trailer.
Well, there was a time when Rick had to say "screw you."
Yeah, he did. He squeezed in there.
But guys, can you talk a little bit about how much are we going to see, or is it just going to be one episode, one line?
I think you can only get 2 in a year, right? Yeah. Boo. Boo. So everybody's going to be fighting for him. Let me say that. No, let me.
I want to say.
I know.
And finally, it's all Carol. Carol gets all the points.
She's going to say, fucking cookies.
And finally, for everyone in the table, I know that this season is going to be a lot of action-packed. So, is there any specific memory, I don't know, you can tell in a specific scene, but that you say, oh man, this year is up at the top? From your
This is a huge season coming up. Like, it's very ambitious, and it's great writing and great acting, and every single episode of the season is full on. It's 100 miles an hour. So all the things that you like, this whole season is peppered with all of it. it's exhausting
And everyone's bruised.
Everyone.
Everyone is bruised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll love it. Yeah.
There's been a couple of times for Carol where I've said, wow, I've never done that before. That's fun.
Yeah, a lot of physical stuff going on. And I remember shooting one episode, and the next day it was the first time I had ever fallen asleep in my makeup chair. I was so exhausted, you know. So it's, I mean, it is. It's going to be a crazy season. It's intense.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
That's why we're like so low energy right now. We're all exhausted.
Barely move. Walking up the stairs to get this room.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.